Hi folks, welcome to the A Minute to Midnight show. This is Tony coming to you from New Zealand. With me on the show today I have Leo Hohmann. Now I've had Leo on the show a few times and I've really always enjoyed the discussion, so I'm sure today will be a good one as well. So welcome, Leo.
Hello, Tony. Good to be with you.
Yes, well, we had a few issues trying to hook up with Skype this morning, but anyway, or this evening over there. But we're here finally, so yeah, it's good to be chatting. And I asked you if we could do a show together, and you sent me your latest article, and I thought, yeah, that's actually a great one to launch off on. So that article on your website, leohohmann.com, was titled, "Forget About Biden, Trudeau, Macron and the rest of the WEF's politicians. It's the system that rules us, and that system must be broken." So I'm just going to read a couple of little wee bits from it to launch us off. "The globalists are in their final stages of a plan to push the US and the world into a new digital system that's designed for near 100% compliance. No person will be left behind, as promised by the United Nations Agenda 2030 documents." So further down, you said this: "But if your goal is to destroy a nation, you know you must first destroy its social cohesion. They look at how you stand on these controversies of their own creation and then assign you to one of two teams, Team Biden and Team Trump. It just makes things so much easier for them when our eyes are diverted onto these two divisive puppets."
Yeah, that was a bit of a provocative statement right there, because everybody in America, well, let's say at least 70%, sort of agrees that Joe Biden is not in possession of all of his mental faculties and that somebody else is actually pulling the strings. But for me to call Donald Trump sort of another type of puppet was very provocative. I've received a lot of feedback, mostly positive, but some negative, from Trumpers who don't want to they don't want to go there, Tony. They don't want to admit that their leader, Donald Trump, if nothing else, has been largely ineffective in taking on the deep state, in draining the swamp, as he calls it. He ran on the campaign promise that he would drain the deep state swamp in Washington, D.C. He called these people swamp creatures and said that they needed to be D.C. needed to be sort of cleaned out of all of the career politicians, career bureaucrats more than anything, the unelected officials who really run the day-to-day affairs of the country. Well, none of that happened. And even a lot of the people that Trump himself appointed ended up working against him. People like William Barr, who was the Attorney General, and Christopher Wray, who he appointed to replace Comey as the new FBI director. Christopher Wray is still in that position as FBI director, even under Biden. So that tells you how much of a lifetime bureaucrat he is when he can work under both parties. And this deep state, this shadow government, whatever you want to call it, some people call it the administrative state, it has not been the least bit affected by Donald Trump. They outmaneuvered him at every turn when he was president. And now they're going after him after he's out of office. As you know, they raided his home in Florida. An unprecedented event for the FBI to raid the home of a former president. That's never happened before in our country. And then after that happened, Biden took to the airwaves and called Trump and his followers enemies of the state. This happened on September 1st. When they call it his Biden's red speech, or what, there's many different names for it. It was the most disgusting, divisive speech ever delivered by a U.S. president, where he went after not only his political opponent, the leader of the opposing political party, Donald Trump, but he attacked all of Trump's followers. As you know, more than 73 million people, Tony, voted for Donald Trump 2 years ago. And so by doing this, Joe Biden essentially declared United States of America to be a one-party state, because he said that anyone who is a MAGA Republican, which he admitted is the energy behind the Republican Party right now. As I said, 73 million people voted for Donald Trump. To declare them enemies of the state is not only undemocratic, it's un-American. It's never been done before. Even during the Civil War in the 1860s, at the peak of the Civil War in the United States, President Abraham Lincoln never demonized the rank and file Southerners. He demonized Jefferson Davis, the president of the breakaway republic known as the Confederacy, and Robert E. Lee, the general, but he never demonized the actual people who followed these leaders. And so Biden is really stepping in uncharted territory here by calling 73 million Trump supporters enemies of the state. And then Donald Trump, 72 hours later, held a rally on Saturday, I think it was September the 3rd or 4th, and he in turn called Joe Biden an enemy of the state. So we are sitting on a ticking time bomb here, Tony, in the United States for the first time in our history, where you've got the leaders of the two major political parties accusing the other of being not just wrong, not just off base in their policies, but literally criminals. And so each side is not just demonizing, but criminalizing the other. And so that was what motivated me to write this article, that if we're not careful here, and if we allow this Biden-Trump dichotomy that the globalists seem to have set up for us, rule us and rule our emotions and take us down this path to civil war, which appears to be what they want, then we're going to be in deep, deep trouble. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed in the United States of America. And so I'm pleading with people not to go there and to take their eyes off of Trump, off of Biden, because I think that's what the globalists want us to do, is to divide us up into team Trump and team Biden and pivot us against each other. Rather than do that, let's look at who the real enemy is. We're talking about the Davos World Economic Forum, the United